Panther people, what up? Carolina beat the Saints, and I think Bryce should be here to stay. What's going on? You're watching Panthers Post. It has been quite the couple days for yours truly here in his sports fandom. My Toronto Raptors just won their second game of the season, and now my Carolina Panthers have won their second game of the season. I'm not going to talk about Tottenham Hotspur. They're doing a lot better than both my teams right now. We're not going to mention the Blue Jays, but my basketball team and my NFL team are doing their thing the last couple of days, and so just let me enjoy it. Let me wear my Bryce Young jersey without shame, even though I am wearing it at night in my house. Just let us feel good. Just let us feel good just for a little bit, just until we get to Munich. But the Carolina Panthers beat their division foe, the one that beat them down and had us starting to think a little bit about Bryce Young, having that conversation about Bryce Young in week one. They beat them at home 23-22. They kept it to the wire. Now, before we get to number 9, we got to talk about our expectations heading into this year. My expectations heading into this year was clearly, I don't need, it'd be nice if we get 4 wins, but I just want to be competitive. I want to see growth. I want to see progression, and I just want to see development out of the young guys. That's all I want. And I want to see development out of Bryce Young. I want to see what the other guys can do. I did not think Jalen Coker will be somebody we're going to be talking about every single day, but that's what we got today. We got a better game from Bryce than we got from week 1, week 2, and then last week. Bryce played better from start to finish in this game than he has all year long. Maybe in his career, give or take maybe the Green Bay game from last year, but we're talking about right now. Compared to last week, I have a lot more faith in him than I did last week. Last week, he had that opening drive that was highly scripted and still ended up with a touchdown for Xavier Leggett. But between that and then that garbage time touchdown to Jalen Coker, there really wasn't much in between. A lot of inconsistencies there. But in this game, mind you, he had 171 yards passing, 1 touchdown, and a pick, which wasn't really a pick. That was more so of a strip fumble almost on Xavier Leggett, and that's a rookie mistake on his part. Either way, I thought he played more consistent, and I felt more confident watching him today than I have at any point in time this year. Even the commentators who were there for week 1 against the Saints said this is a completely different guy than what we saw in week 1. That the time that he had sitting down, and maybe Anthony Richardson could take some notes, but that, this seat that he took to Andy Dalton, and it seems like they've been great friends ever since. Like I said before, this is like this feels like a Fitzpatrick Tua Tagovailoa relationship, that no matter where they go in their careers, they're always going to be tight with each other. But I think sitting down and watching Andy Dalton do his thing has given Bryce some time to just relax. And I think I said this in previous episode that when they did those sideline shots when Andy Dalton was starting, Bryce looked kind of happy. The weight of the world was not on his shoulders anymore. You know what? You're the first round pick and you got sat after week 2 with this brand new coach. So what? So what? It happened. It's over now. That was last week. We're moving on now. Now we're talking about Anthony Richardson, tapping himself out because he's tired. Now we're talking about CJ Stroud having a sophomore slump. No one's talking about you anymore. Just enjoy yourself. And it seemed like he was. And it seemed like the game slowed down for him a little bit. And he got to pick the brain of an actual NFL veteran because there just wasn't one in Alabama. There just wasn't. And so I think he came back. not saying he's a superstar. And I've said in previous episodes that maybe Bryce sticks around and he's our bridge. He could be our bridge until something much better comes about. And so I think he played more confident. There are still some things I thought he didn't do that I with more consistency that I would like climbing the pocket. He still bails to his right too much. Like, it's a predictable thing now. It's a scouting thing. Like, defense is going to be looking for this kind of stuff. Like, when he doesn't like what he sees, he bounces to his right. And instead, maybe a taller, stronger quarterback would be climbing the pocket a little bit and finding receivers down the field. There are moments there, 100%, that I think he could be doing that on a more consistent basis. But today, there were no glaring errors. It looked like he had confidence in throwing the deep ball. And who would have known? You got rid of Deontay Johnson and we win a game. Kind of weird. But not just Bryce. Like, I've talked about this in the comments. Make sure to put your comment below on how you felt about today's game. But people talk about how, the Teppers have ruined the Panthers. They've ruined them. They've stripped all the culture. They've stripped all the fandom away from this team. You can't say that. And I'm not paid by David Tepper. I wish I was. But you can't say David Tepper stripped the culture away from this team while also saying and praising them for what they've done with Charlotte FC and built a completely different, like, if you told me that their home games with Charlotte FC is the same home stadium as the Carolina Panthers circa 2017, I'd say you're crazy. That does not look like the same fan base. That does not look like the same city. It does not look like the same sport or owner, but it is. They've created something in Charlotte FC that they need to duplicate somehow with the Carolina Panthers. Obviously, winning helps, but you can't say the Tempers are bad owners when Charlotte FC is doing their thing. And I said before that Dave Canales, young coach, same with these players. We're going to deal with issues. We're going to have some coaching hiccups. We're going to have some coaching mess ups that he wishes he's going to laugh at this, 20 years from now when he's a head coach elsewhere, if he is so lucky to do so. But you can tell, I think Canales is trying to build something here. And then when you have guys like Deontay Johnson on the trade block, you have guys like Adam Thielen on the trade block, Miles Sanders on the trade block. They want guys who are bought in. And I think just the way his energy is, Dave Canales, he's a young guy. He's a Pete Carroll 2.0 as I'm watching Seattle Seahawks in overtime against Rams. I don't know if his way of operating is going to resonate with older guys. And that's why I think he's going to resonate with the young guys. Because he's a young guy himself. He's probably one of the younger coaches in the NFL right now. He acts young. Getting rid of guys like Deontay Johnson, maybe Adam Thielen as well. Just guys who aren't going to buy into what he's trying to build. And it's easier to do that with college guys. That was kind of a problem with Matt Rule. It didn't seem like Matt Rule was able to resonate with older veteran NFL players with actual families. Dave Canales strikes me as someone who's a little bit like that. Seeing today, not just Bryce developing, but all the young guys, the young core, the young core that we thought were going to contribute. Xavier Leggett got another touchdown. Scared me a little bit with a hand injury, but he came back and did his thing. He had some jet sweep plays that are pretty good. Again, he had that strip. Someone not even peanut punch, just peanut grabbed the ball right out of his hands. That's twice now that Bryce Young got dinged for an interception that wasn't really his fault. Last week against Denver, the cornerback just kind of turned around and just grabbed Bryce's pass that Jalen Coker also had both hands on. And that was unfortunate. And today, Xavier Leggett, great pass from Bryce, great catch from Xavier Leggett, but he just did not hold it down, didn't pin it to his chest, and the cornerback just made a great play. And that's all it was. So Bryce Young could have added more touchdowns, I think, because that drive was going out pretty well, but is what it is. But Xavier Leggett contributing. Jalen Coker, I did not think in my wildest dreams that he was going to contribute in this way. I thought he was just another free agent, undrafted free agent, wide receiver that we were just really excited about. That we thought, oh no, we're smarter than everybody else. We're playing chess while everybody else is playing checkers. But no, he is contributing. He is making big boy catches. And he is going to only get better every single week. And then Jadavion Sanders, 87 yards receiving, led all receivers and had a highlight play, the first 40-yard plus play for the Carolina Panthers this year. Hurdling a guy, running, like not what Saquon did, who now upped the ante with the reverse jump over guys. But Jadavion Sanders, they always say rookie quarterback, and you can almost claim that Bryce Young is a rookie quarterback, that their best friend's going to be a tight end. And Jadavion Sanders doing his damn thing, doing great, almost 90 yards receiving. It's only a matter of time before he really starts to figure it out. And it takes tight ends a long time to really figure it out. So you got Bryce Young, again, at the moment, got better from week to week, from last week to this week. Xavier Leggett getting better. Cokeheads. You were right. You were justified. He's getting better every single week. Jadavion Sanders really coming along. And then next week in Munich, we understand that Jonathan Brooks, the highest picked running back in last year's draft out of Texas, he's going to make his debut in Munich. He's going to tell his grandkids about that his first NFL game was in Germany. And then we understand DJ Wonnum, who's not young, but he might be coming back next week as well. So you got Bryce, Xavier, Coker, Jadavion Sanders, Jonathan Brooks. That is your offensive core right there. And then you got Trevin Wallace in there, number 56, in the linebacker core of the Carolina Panthers, already just making plays, doing his damn thing, playing like his hair is on fire. There's something building in terms of the culture, in terms of the philosophy that Dave Canales is trying to instill. And it's going to take time. Just enjoy. As someone who is a fan of the Raptors, and also if you're a fan of the Charlotte Hornets as well, just enjoy the fact that enjoy the development of these young guys. And hopefully they're developing in the right way and they're not going to make any bad habits, because there's still some things about Coach Canales that piss me off, and I'm going to talk about it. But just enjoy, whether we won or lost today, the rookies, the young guys showed some serious development, and that's only going to get better, I hope. In a perfect world, obviously they're going to have mishaps like that fumble from Xavier Leggett. You're going to get it. Jadavion Sanders missing an assignment in blocking. It's going to happen. We're going to get these youthful, exuberant mistakes. It's just going to come with the territory, but you just got to enjoy the development. And then 5 years, I hate sounding like Matt Rule, but like 4 years down the line, maybe sooner, 3 years down the line, 2 years down the line, these guys, start to really figure it out. And whether Bryce Young's a quarterback in that moment, at those moments, like 2-3 years down the road, or is it Cam Ward, or is it Archie Manning? As I mentioned before, if this profile gets better, if these skill position guys or who are cheap get better every single year, and then this place doesn't have that stink on it, we become the Washington Commanders. You just plop in a highly touted rookie, and now all of a sudden, according to Adam Schefter, everybody wants to play with the Washington Commanders. Hopefully, everybody wants to play with the Carolina Panthers. So that's the hope. Now talk about Coach Canales. There are certain things that he does that piss me off, and sometimes I think that he's trying to get too cute. Like Chuba Hubbard had less than 80 yards rushing. He did have a couple touchdowns, but the man was I think it's almost like he's got a cap at 15 rushes. 15. Let me take a look at how many rushes Chuba Hubbard had. I'm pretty sure Chuba Hubbard had 15 rushes. Chuba Hubbard had 15 rushes. It seems like every single game he's got this cap. We can't have Chuba running for more than 15 times. Max, I think I've seen him run 18 times. I don't know what's going on. And his obsession with Miles Sanders. Miles Sanders has -5 yards rushing and -5 yards receiving. Why is he being incorporated? I thought he wanted to get traded. What are you going to get in return for Miles Sanders? Like a bag of chips? That's it, really, at this point. You're worsening his trade value. He's just going to be here and disgruntled because Jonathan Brooks is going to take reps away from him. I don't understand that, because if Miles Sanders out there, like, you're just telling the world that it's either going to be a screen pass to Miles Sanders, who that's nothing good is going to come out of that, or you're just passing the ball in general. At least with Chuba Hubbard there, he can catch the ball. He's been working on the jugs machine, and he could also run up the middle. Like, it doesn't make sense to me why Chuba Hubbard is getting so few touches. Chuba Hubbard, 2 catches, 15 rushes, 17 total touches. Alvin Kamara, 29 rushes for 155 yards. Alvin Kamara, 6 receptions, 6 yards. He's the only skill position player they have right now, but for gosh sakes, why are we still playing this game like Chuba Hubbard isn't one of the best backs in the league right now, performing like one of the best backs in the league right now? It doesn't make any sense. That's pissing me off. The fact that I think it was towards a couple dying seconds of the first half that not using timeouts properly, just game management stuff and then just poor ideas in terms of plays, just passing on first downs when you don't need to, like just run the damn ball. Just give Bryce or whatever quarterback is under center a chance to just perform under better circumstances. Defense. And they've been ragged on a lot. They've been ragged on a lot this year, and it's not their fault. It's the injuries. It's the young guys being forced to play in situations that they weren't supposed to be in. Like guys like DJ Warner should be playing, but he has blood clots in his lungs. Shaq Thompson wasn't supposed to hurt himself for the rest of the year. Derek Brown wasn't supposed to hurt his meniscus. Like, this should be a better unit, but it's just not performing. But today, they were kind of bend but don't break. Like, sure, Alvin Kamara just tore them up, and Taysom Hill tore them up at the same time. But this defense gave the offense a short field the same way that they played complementary football by having turnovers or making stops on third down and giving Bryce Young company better field positions and more chances to succeed. And then you're getting guys who are stepping up. Like, this is the next man up mentality when we got all these guys injured. Damani Richardson, rookie free agent, leading the team in tackles with 12. Charles Smith-Wade, he's only going to learn from this, 6 tackles. Josie Jewell, he's back, 6 tackles. Jadeveon Clowney, maybe his best game as a Panther thus far, just nonstop pressure on Derek Carr. Mind you, these are the Saints with Derek Carr. The reason why they're losing like 6-7 straight in a row is because Derek Carr wasn't playing. He was back. He didn't have as many skill position players. Chris Olave out with a concussion. Xavier Woods said he didn't mean any harm. He's going to reach out to him. But, like, this wasn't, week 1 Saints in terms of the talent level that they had, but they still had their number 1 starting quarterback. We weren't up against Spencer Rattler or Jake Hayner or whatever his name is. So there's a little feather in our cap in that sense. But the defense, they played well. They gave the offense chances. They put them in the right position. They beat up the Saints. They kept them out of the end zone, had them settling for field goals, and you can only help but build on that. And I have a sense heading into Munich against these Giants, I think that's our 3rd win right there, honestly. Giants fans, you can hit me out. Tell me if I'm wrong. Yes, Brian Burns could have a tough time, but I think our offensive line played well. Brady Christensen, I don't think he had any penalties on him. That is already better than what we were dealing with Ike Ekwonu, who always, for some reason, has like a gut-wrenching, kicking the balls type penalty after a big game. And that happens at least once or twice in a game. That did not happen with Brady Christensen at left tackle. So, hey, maybe it's time to maybe have the conversation about Ike Ekwonu moving to guard or something, but there's someone there right now. So I don't know what the situation is going to be with him. Hopefully he gets healthy. You shouldn't lose your job because of injury, but Brady Christensen played quite well, in my opinion. But Daniel Jones, who I've talked about before as maybe the bridge quarterback for the Carolina Panthers, he's a Charlotte guy. He's not having a good season. Obviously, they have some pretty good wide receivers out there in New York, but if our defense plays to this level and better, just continues to stack those wins, and then our offense just doesn't make big mistakes, and if Dave Canales just friggin' runs Chuba, run him into the ground, and just play smart, then I think the Panthers can have a little bit of a win streak going, because then the schedule gets really hard after that. Not really that hard, but gets hard. You still got the Eagles, you got the Cowboys. Who knows when they're gonna wake up? They might wake up, but got the Chiefs, Eagles, Cowboys, Cardinals, Bucks, Falcons. Bucks are hampered right now, but you gotta enjoy this Victory Monday, and then on to Munich. And I'm feeling good about that game. Let me know what you guys think about this game. Let me know what you think about Bryce. Let me know what you think about the next game. See you guys soon.